Hey Sally, I just wanted to let you know that I'm gonna be getting back home a little early today. I hope that tonight we can talk a little more.
Ugh, Harry, do you really think there's anything left to talk about between us? We're going to get divorced. What else is there to even discuss?
But I don't understand why we're getting divorced. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I don't know what you want me to do. It's not my job to convince you, but I have said all that I have to say. I mean, you were the one who thought that I was cheating on you, right?
Well, I thought that you would want to change your ways for the good of the family, you know? And besides, I was just suspicious. I didn't know that you were actually cheating on me.
Well, you found out. I admitted to it, and I agreed to pay you money to settle all of this. I don't want to live with you anymore, Harry. Can you please just sign the divorce papers and stop dragging this out longer than it needs to be?
Wait, please, I'm begging you. I get that you want a divorce, but it's only been a week since we talked about that.
Well, why drag this out any longer? I know that I don't love you anymore. I don't want you to raise my children, and I don't want to be married to you. Besides, I've already fallen in love with someone else. I don't see the point in making this last any longer than it really needs to.
But you can't really mean that, right? I mean, I worked so hard to make as much time for our family as I could.
I know you did, and I'm not saying that you're a bad father or husband. You're good at both of those things. But whenever I think of you, I just don't feel that spark that I used to when we first got together.
Do you really dislike being with me that much, Sally?
I'm sorry, but I really do, and nothing is going to change my mind about it.
But what about Lyra? We have to talk about who will be taking custody of her.
Well, she's already said that she wants to come with me, so that's settled.
What do you mean?
Are you really even that surprised? I mean, when was the last time that you and her even talked together, huh?
Well, I'm always doing my best to reach out to her, but ever since she started middle school, I feel like she just ignores me.
That's because she's sick of how obnoxious you can be. Do you really think that a daughter who doesn't even enjoy talking to you would want to go and live with you?
But I want to talk to her. It's like you think I don't try.
Well, she doesn't want to talk with you. What don't you get about that? Honestly, you just need to think about this more clearly.
But I've always been there for Lyra before this. I mean, we raised her together, but now she's staying with your parents while we're figuring all this out. So I can still go and visit her on the weekends, right?
No, I didn't mention this to you earlier, but she's actually started staying with my new boyfriend's family.
Wait, you can't be serious about that, right?
Well, you already knew that I was seeing this guy behind your back, right? When I told his parents that you and I were breaking up, he said that they would happily watch Lyra while we solved all of this.
So then you're just leaving our daughter with complete strangers? Why are you involving our daughter with the man you cheated on me with?
I think you're confused. You're the one who may as well be a stranger. Once we're divorced and I take Lyra, you're going to be nothing to either of us anymore, get it? So you can just go ahead and stop acting like you're worried about it.
Sally, you can't do things like this! This is taking things way too far!
Oh, I am so sick of dealing with you, Harry. If you really want to talk to Lyra that bad, then go message her. Just don't expect her to ever get back to you. From this day on, the two of us are going to live with my boyfriend, and that's that.
Wait, Sally, please don't go! Can't we just talk about this for a little longer?
What's the point? We're just going to end up saying the same things over and over. It's not going to change anything, and it's going to be a waste of time. You need to accept the facts and sign the divorce papers. I want this over with by the end of the month.
Hey, Dad. I heard from Mom that you wanted to talk to me.
Lyra? Is that really you?
Of course it is. But Mom is gone because it's Friday, so she has her Pilates.
Oh, right. I guess that makes sense. I can't believe she's still going to that while all this is going on, though.
Well, you know how much Mom loves to keep up with her schedule.
I know. I just wanted to say how sorry I am that you're having to go through all this right now, Lyra.
I don't really mind all that much, actually. I mean, Mom seems really happy, and I don't think she would be that way if she was still living with you.
I see. So then you really think she's happier without me? I also heard that you were going to be changing schools after that divorce. Are you okay with that happening?
Well, since I'll have a totally new name after Mom and Chris get married, I'm more thinking of it as a fresh start.
Well, I guess I'm glad that you seem to be taking all this so well, Lyra. I'm just curious, are you actually looking forward to living with your mom and this Chris guy? I know that we haven't been as close as we used to be, and I want you to know that you can always come and stay with me whenever you want to. I would do anything for you, and I want you to know that.
Oh, wow, that is lame. I can't believe it. Do you really think I would ever want to go and live with you?
I just mean, well, if it's something that you wanted. I don't know, I just think that a lot of things are changing for you, and I want you to know that you have options. I mean, you'll be living with some strange new guy, and I just don't want you to be uncomfortable or unhappy.
And you think that I'd be more comfortable and happy being with a boring old fart like you?
Hey now, you don't need to call me names, you know?
Why are you still talking as if we're friends? Don't you realize that your wife and daughter hate you? Why can't you see that yet?
Now, Lyra, I know that puberty can be a time when a lot of strange changes are happening in your body and mind. I'm wondering if that doesn't have something to do with why you're keeping your distance from me.
I don't know if you knew this, but I knew that Mom was seeing this other guy since I was in elementary school. Chris is way younger than you, and he's really rich, too. I think Mom is making a great decision by leaving you.
But that would mean that you've known that Mom was seeing Chris behind my back for at least 2 years.
That's right. And I'm so happy that Chris is finally going to be my new dad. He never gets mad at me and always lets me do whatever I want. He's the best dad ever.
I see. So then I guess you're completely with your mom when it comes to this.
Of course I am. I'm never going to think of you as my dad ever again. So you might as well forget that you've ever got a daughter, got it?
If that's what you really want, then I won't say anything more. I'll sign the divorce papers, and then you and your mom can go and live with Chris.
Finally! I thought you were never gonna sign them. I'll tell Mom. I know she'll be really happy over this.
But, Lyra, are you sure that we can't meet in person just one last time? I just have some final things I'd like to say to you, since after the divorce, it really seems like it'll be goodbye for us.
Yeah, no, that sounds super awkward and boring. Both Mom and I hate you and never want to see you again. Don't you get that? Just hurry up and sign the papers so this can all finally be over. Hey, Dad. It's been a really long time since we last talked, hasn't it? How have you been? This is Lyra, in case you don't have my number saved.
Wait, Lyra? Is it really you?
So then you really do still remember me?
Of course I remember you, but I have to say that I am shocked that you're messaging me.
I thought you might be. I mean, I think the last time we talked like this was already more than 6 years ago. I'm in college now, you know?
That sounds about right. I was wondering if you'd started yet. Well, have you been? Are you doing well? Are you enjoying college?
Yeah, I guess things are okay for me.
Oh, well, that's really good to hear. I wish you the best in life, sweetie. Good luck with everything.
Hold on, you can't just go. Are you mad at me?
What do you mean?
Well, I just know that when you and Mom split up, I said some really awful things to you.
Oh, really? I guess I didn't really notice that you had...
Well, I just want you to know that I've always regretted treating you like that. I was just so angry at the world and you were an easy target because of how much you loved me. So I want you to know that I'm truly sorry for the way I treated you.
I'll be honest, I said it had to do with age when we first split up.
Well, you were right. You were always so kind to me, and all I ever did was throw it back in your face in those days. But now I'm older, and I realize you're probably the kindest man I've ever known.
Lyra, where's all this coming from so suddenly? Haven't things been going well with your mom and Chris?
Well, Mom and Chris never even got married. In fact, apparently Chris had a whole other family and was married this whole time. We all lived together like one big family until about a year ago when Mom found out that Chris was a married man and everything fell apart.
Oh, wow. Well, that sounds like a real mess for everyone involved.
You really have no idea. And now Mom just found out that she's really sick.
Your mom is sick? With what? Does she know?
I don't know, but I think it's pretty serious. Maybe even life-threatening. But I guess maybe this is what Mom gets after doing so much hurt to a nice man like you.
I don't really know about that.
But anyways, I just wanted to let you know that Mom's in the hospital now, and I really need help. At this rate, I'll have to stop going to college. I didn't know who else to turn to, so that's why I reached out. I was wondering if I couldn't ask you for a little support with money.
You mean you want me to help and cover the cost of your school and stuff? But I thought that you told me to forget I ever had a daughter.
I knew it. You're still upset over the things I said back then.
No, I'm not upset, but I am just doing what you told me to do.
What do you mean? I don't get it.
I mean that you're not my kid. You belong to Sally and some other man. I don't mean this in some metaphorical way either. You are literally not my child. Your mom had you with some other man, and I knew that when we got married. Why do you think I never paid any child support after your mom and I got divorced?
Wait, what are you talking about? I had no idea about any of this.
Oh, I see. Well then, maybe I just should have kept my mouth shut. But it's true. I married your mom when you were about 4 years old. I guess maybe you were just barely too young to remember any of that, but I'm not your real father. Maybe that's why you never really liked me when I was with your mom.
No, that can't be right. And of course I loved you.
Well, it doesn't really matter now that we're all apart. And you don't have to worry about me, and I don't need to worry about you.
So then, you're really not going to help me out at all?
I'm sorry, but I just really don't know why I would do that. When we lived together, I really did think of you as my daughter, but not anymore.
But legally, I'm still your daughter, right? So I don't get why you wouldn't offer to help me at all.
I think you know exactly why I'm not helping you.
Ugh, I knew it! I knew that you were just a lousy father, just like the rest of them!
Lyra, I think it would be good if you spent some time away from your mom. If you ever get into any serious trouble, feel free to reach out, okay?
Hey, Harry! What the heck is your problem trying to turn Lyra against me?
I'm sorry, are you referring to me telling Lyra the truth about her life?
I don't need you going around telling her things that she doesn't need to know yet. We had a huge fight yesterday thanks to you.
I'm sorry, is Lyra an adult now, or isn't she? You know that you can't just hide that part of her life forever, right?
Well, you're not even her real dad, so why do you think you get to be the one telling her that kind of thing?
Well, Lyra couldn't understand why I was acting the way I was to her, so I had to explain it to her in a way that I knew would stick.
I really can't believe you. And here I thought that you loved Lyra.
No, please, don't even try to pull something like that on me right now.
Well, did you hear about how I'm sick? And now Lyra's telling me it's all my fault she'll have to drop out of college. All she was asking for was help paying for her higher education, and you couldn't even give her that? Instead, you just told her to blame it all on me.
Well, it isn't my job to help her.
Oh, but why? You know that family is more than just about being connected by blood. I know that you do. You would have never treated Lyra like this when we were still married.
You can go ahead and stop right there. I bet that Lyra isn't even going to college, and I doubt that you're even really sick.
What do you mean?
You mean how did I know all of that? Well, that would actually be because my parents and I happened to do some digging around you and Lyra around the time that she finished high school.
Your parents looked into us? For what? What did they want?
They were trying to convince me to get remarried.
And what did Lyra and I have to do with that?
Well, they thought that if they could show me that you two were happy without me, then it might spur me to move on.
So then, did you get married?
I did actually, yes.
But I only got sick recently, so how did you hear about that?
Well, when Lyra told me that you were sick, I went to look at some of the social media profiles you had and saw you having the time of your life on various trips.
Well, maybe I just didn't post about being sick on my social media.
Maybe, but it certainly didn't look like you were hurting for money either. If things are really that bad for you, you could always just sell some of your expensive brand items. I see them in almost every photo that you upload.
No, I couldn't do that. Do you know how much time and effort went into getting all of those?
I think that if you were really on your deathbed, you wouldn't be saying that. So I guess it is all just a lie, isn't it? You were never sick to begin with.
Okay, the truth is that I'm in a lot of debt right now.
I take it that that comes from all your running around and having fun, yes?
I wasn't running around, I was trying to find ways to relieve all the stress I built up.
Well, you seem to find the most expensive ways of doing so.
My life has just been a mess ever since I left you. Chris turned out to be a married man and I was the other woman. His wife found out about me and then Chris left me. Then I met another guy who turned out to be a scammer and took all my money. You're the only person I can turn to now.
So, then you lied about being sick to try and get more money out of me, huh?
Well, I wasn't asking you for any help. I just lied about being sick.
That's right. You didn't ask because you had Lyra ask instead, isn't that right?
I just thought that she would be able to convince you to give her something at least.
Well, I don't get why you need Lyra to do your dirty work. She should have nothing to do with your debt.
I know, but she was trying to help me. But now you're the only person that I can turn to. So please help me out here. I'm sure that if you do, it will really make Lyra think of you as her father again.
And just why do you think that I would even want that?
Well, because you still love Lyra and you want her back in your life, right?
You don't know anything. In fact, after you had your fight with Lyra, she came crying to me about how she didn't want to grow up to be someone like you. And she said that she was going to move out.
Wait a second. Is that why I haven't seen Lyra? Because she's moved out?
That's right, and she said that she wants nothing to do with you ever again. Do you understand?
Now hold on, just 1 second. What am I supposed to do about next month's rent? Or groceries? How am I supposed to live if I can't use the money Lyra gets from her job?
That sounds like a you problem, Sally.
Give me back my daughter. You're not even her father, you can't just take her from me.
You seem to be awfully fickle about whether you want me connecting with Lyra based on what you want, but Lyra made this decision all on her own.
But Harry, without Lyra's help, I really won't be able to afford to live. You have to help me.
You've been living off of your daughter for this long. I think it's time for you to remember what it's like to be a responsible adult yourself.
I'm so sorry. I promise to pay you back every penny, but at least tell Lyra to come back to me.
Lyra wants you to know that she never enjoyed doing anything to help you, and she just didn't want you to hate her and be left with no one.
That's a lie. She chose me over you, and that's that.
I'm afraid that if you really think that, then you have no idea just who your daughter really is. But maybe now that you're all alone, this will give you more incentive to try and be a better person who Lyra would want to be around. I don't know what happened to Sally after that, and honestly, I don't really care. I'm sure that after she realized that, she had no one else to turn to for help. However, that she decided to step up and take care of herself. I blocked her on all social media, and I did my best to know a little about her as possible. As for Lyra, I asked my relatives to find a job for her in their hotel where she works at now and lives. Lyra has a long way to go, but I think she really is starting to come into herself as an independent adult. I even agreed to pay for her schooling as long as she keeps up with her work,